What's going on? So what do I think about when I hear some of these people talking about they tired about black fatigue? They black fatigued out. How you think black people feel? How you think some black folks feel 400 plus years still dealing with institutionalized systematic racism, still dealing with having to fight for everything, dealing with people that are politicians who beg and plead with you, and then when they get a little piece of office, they still act like they don't want to touch Emmett Till. Yeah, they want to bring in justices and everything, but everybody else, but they don't want to do what they're supposed to do. You want to talk about black fatigue? How about you do what you're supposed to do? How about a balance of the world? You know, when they crying about black fatigue, I'll tell them, I said, well, you know what? We're dealing with white privilege. And so you ask yourself, if you weren't so privileged, you wouldn't have to be fatigued by black folks. Maybe if you shared, maybe if you actually utilized the constitutional rights, the home living for people, and you treated people like human beings and not like servants or looked down upon them, maybe you wouldn't have to experience that. Just maybe. However, due to the fact that it's such a divisive situation and connotation and how everything is, you reap what you sow. So when I hear them get on TikTok, talk about, oh, I'm just so tired of them, and all they do is complain, all that and all that. Well, the same thing goes with the privilege. That gets tiring all the time. Because you can, run red lights, yellow lights, and you might get a cheeseburger instead of a ticket. So we see things unfold before our eyes all the time. The double standards of justice, the cosplay, the lingo, you know, people talking about what they tired of when they don't own nothing, you know. And this is the thing. Everybody's on borrowed time. Everybody has their place in the country. So you don't have no say over nothing in the grand scheme of things. It's just that delusion. So when you say black fatigue, are you that embarrassed because of what your ancestors allowed and what has happened? And how would you cope if you didn't have that black fatigue? You know, it's funny how they talk a lot, say a lot, but when it comes down to it, it's like you're up here complaining about what? Because of the complexion, and you got a lot to say because they're talking about things that are happening. It's not hyperbole. It's not make believe. Police brutality, racism is real. School system is running against you. Prisons are being built. There are things that are done on purpose. And people don't want to have to face it because they have white privilege. When you got privilege, you don't never have to see nothing because it's all in front of you to do what you want. So when they start talking about they got black fatigue, I'm like, you can't even spell fatigue because you haven't really lived the fatigue to understand. To live the fatigue in its totality would mean that you would have to be stripped to what you know, and you'd have to conform to what everybody else did. And we know that wouldn't work. We know that wouldn't work. So I look at this and just, laugh and whatnot. When I hear about black fatigue, I'm like, really? When you didn't have privilege because you don't want to see what you didn't created and what has been left for you to create. Please like, subscribe, welcome thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands, keep your mind clear. Watch out for another. Share it if you like. Hit the membership. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free. I'm out one time, and there's no fatigue. I just want to keep it real. Out.